In Love is Blind Italy, we have an interracial couple, Palmy and Gergana. Gergana is white Italian and Palmy is Indian Italian. In the pods, they're speaking and Palmy basically outs his ethnicity and basically says that he's Indian. And later on, they're having a conversation and he's basically like, you know, would your parents have a problem with my ethnicity? And Gergana starts stuttering and she's basically like, it wasn't sounding good for her. And she was basically like, she trying to gloss it up, but she basically said, yeah, you know, my parents, you know, they're a little low-key racist. She's like, well, I'm not racist, but, you know, my parents, you know, a little bit. And she basically provides him no reassurance. No, I'll speak to my parents. No, you know, if it comes down to it, you know, I'll stick by you, I'll stand by you, I would defy my parents. It was all very much like, it is what it is. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can't choose who your parents are. You know, some people, you know, are lovely people, but they have horrible parents. You know, as a black person, personally, I wouldn't want to date somebody who has racist parents. And I feel like the only way I'd be able to make an exception is if I am given reassurance that I'm not going to be dealing with them. I mean, somebody cutting off their racist parents would be nice, but at the end of the day, you know, people have that tether, that natural tether to their parents. But I could negotiate on a situation where I don't have to interact with them. But I feel like that situation gets tricky when you start having kids. Because personally, like, even let's say you agree to that situation, you're not interacting with the racist parents, right? Or you've, you know, the parents have agreed to be civil, but like contact is very light. Now, if you decide to procreate and have children, what now? That's gonna be fucking awkward. So for me, I think it's easier just, you know, if you do have racist parents, it would be better off if they were dead. Alive, it will be an issue. But I gotta hear from you guys. Could you date somebody with racist parents? Have you? I know some of you have. Let me know your experience. But anyway, now we come to Palmy's reaction. What do you guys think his reaction was? His reaction is that he is going to fight to win over Gergana's parents. What? Palmy, I don't think that's how racism works, Horn, unfortunately. But to me, when he said that, I just thought that was wild. I was like, wow, you ain't even seen this white pum-pum and you're already wanting to fight the racist parents for approval. Wow. The power of the white pum-pum. And like I said, no reassurance from Gergana. No reassurance. But yeah, to me, that's just wild. Nah. Like for me, Gergana, it would have to be, you know what, it's been cute, but I would have to go because absolutely no reassurance. Your parents are racist and you got no comment. Bye. Maybe I might, you know, maybe we can go out for dinner, you can take me shopping, but marriage is not gonna be. But I gotta hear from you guys. Do you feel like things like this can be negotiated? And you know what, I don't want to be so negative. So if anybody out there has racist parents or is racist, if you can comment below some tips on how, you know, people of color can win racists over, for people like Palmy to read and get inspiration from, comment down below. But yeah, they end up getting engaged. And everything's going well, but in the preview that we see of them going into the real world, Gergana is longing out telling her parents that she's married to an Indian man. Which of course isn't good, because if she's longing it out, then she already knows what her parents are gonna disapprove. And I mean, let's be real, you know? When we're thinking about stereotypical racists, who they don't want their white daughter bringing home, I would say Indian is probably top 2. I think we know what number 1 is. Let's be real. Shit, they might even be tired. But yeah, I just think it's wild. Like, you know, love is blind and all that, I get that, but Unfortunately, racism is a greater power. But I gotta hear from you guys. Are we rooting for Giordana and Palmy, or do we feel like them glossing over this race issue will be a problem? Because let's say they get married, right? And it's just a weird dynamic with the parents, and then they have children. Then it's gonna be a weird dynamic with the children. Like you got to think about these things. But yeah, I got to hear your thoughts on this whole situation, because to me, I think it's a bit wild. But I'm not surprised that Palmy is just basically wants to fight for this love for this white pum pum. But I got to hear your thoughts on the situation.